Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elijah, and here I help high-achieving women align wellness, spirituality, and leadership. Today's video is something I hold very near and dear to my heart, and the conversation is around spiritual alignment. I know how difficult it is to make time for it. I really do. Even now, in trying to build this brand and get this brand up and going, I'm like having to be very intentional. Like, Elijah, take a break from the computer. Go and read, do your meditation, get in your sauna blanket, do something to take care of yourself and talk with God and meditate so you can receive the downloads and the insights. So it's so difficult to lose sight of your spiritual center, but it doesn't have to be. We're going to talk about some things you can do to ensure that you're making time for your spiritual health in your chaotic and very busy life. Just a little story for you before we jump into the tips. For years, for about I want to say from year like 2016 through 2020, 2015, 2020, excuse me, from 2015 to about 2020, I had to think about the range. I had a lot going on. I started to go back to school as a working adult, someone who worked more than 40 hours a week. I started to be crazy and help my brother start a business. Then I helped my sister start a nonprofit. And I decided, like I said, to go back to school and start from literally ground zero, finally finishing up my master's degree. It's been a long time coming. But anyway, I know how difficult it is to feel connected. There was a period where I was doing all of these things, but despite all the things that looked good, like, wow, you're accomplishing these things, you know, like with business that I helped my brother with, we landed a deal with a multi-million-dollar company, helping them make training videos for their employees. And then with the nonprofit that we started with my sister, I had the opportunity to work with some large organizations where it ended up becoming a pivotal moment where it was like a crossroad moment. So anyway, in saying all of this, despite all that I was doing, I felt so disconnected. I felt like my life lacked meaning, like my life lacked purpose. So it's so important. It was after the year 2020 where I really you hear all the things. We always talk about it, like, oh, meditate, do this, do that, do this. We hear all these things all the time, but the problem that so many of us deal with is, yeah, we know all the things, but do we actually implement them? Do we actually take action on the things that we know? And so it was after year 2020 and where I had to go through this like inner reflection period of my life. I got promoted at work and had to make a decision to pull away from some of the work that I was doing with the family and really went through like this introspective period. And it was in this time that I really found my connection. You know, I grew up in a very Christian home, faith-based. I'm a bit open now to a lot of things, but when I was growing up, I'm talking like I had the abstinence ring and like a very faith-based home. And so it was something I've been disconnected from for a very long time. So when I got back to this connection, you know, I felt more peace and I felt more in alignment, and I felt like I know exactly how to move forward now, how to put all these things that I've worked so hard for all these years, because I was like, how do I put it all together? Like, it just all clicked for me finally, hence the reason I'm actually now doing this brand. We already know you as a high achieving woman, you're balancing a lot of things, your career, families, the whole laundry list of things that you've got going on. And the one thing that is so important that we ensure we make time for is our spiritual health. So the first thing you want to do is have some sort of practice every single day. It could be in the morning, but it could be in the evening, whatever works for you and your schedule and your life and the way you think and the way you process things. We're all different. Whatever works for you, you want to have an intentional practice. Ideally in the morning, as far as like meditation. If you can't do anything else, at least try to get in some meditation time where you can be in alignment with God and hear the insights, whatever you want to call them, God, divine source. You know, the time that you, especially you as a high achieving woman, you are someone who leads others. Whether you lead people at work or you lead people in your communities, you are leading essentially. And as you evolve in life, you're going to continue to lead. You know, we'll reach a full state of maturity at some point, and we're going to be leading the younger people. So as a leader, we have to be able to trust our intuitions and to trust what God is, or what the downloads that we're receiving. I did a podcast episode where I talked about this, where I shared a little bit about Solomon, King Solomon. He was someone who, I'm not going to go into all the detail now. I'll maybe link the podcast episode below so you can listen to it, or at least give you the episode number. But anyway, in the episode, I talk about how, he had to make I'm sure you've heard the story. If not, I'll share it. But at a high level, he had to make a decision. So there was two women that had come to him and they're like fighting over this child. I guess both of them did have children. One of the children died, and then the one child that was still remaining, the women in the village were fighting over this child. Like, this is my child. The woman's like, no, this is my child, and they're fighting about it. And so Solomon had to make this decision. He had to be like, okay, have discernment. Like, I'm gonna have to trust that I'm making the right decisions. And if you listen to the story, he asked specific questions, yada yada. I'm not gonna go into that now, but anyway. Back then, I didn't have psychology and all the stuff we have on the internet now. I think we've got better to, when I think about now in comparison to ancient times, we have gotten a lot better with understanding human psychology and knowing when someone's lying, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, the point of the story, or where I'm going with this, is that he had to make the decision, and nobody could tell him, like, yeah, do this. Like, and even at work, I notice I can get all the opinions and things like that I want from my coworkers and all that, but at the end of the day, I have to be willing to trust my intuition, and I need to be willing to trust that I am making the decision. And we see our politicians, they're not always making the right decisions, but if you are turned in as a high achieving woman and a leader, you are going to be tuned in to make decisions that are right. You'll be able to pull from your higher guidance to ensure that you make the right decision going into your days. And your daily morning routine or evening or whatever time of the day works for you allows you to silence and tune in and really learn or hear what you need to hear. And then the more you do this, the more you begin to actually trust your intuition, is what I've noticed. You start leaning in and like, I trust myself. I trust that I'm going to make the best decision. And even if it turns out where, it didn't work out the way you wanted to, it was an experience you needed to go through in order to learn what it is that you needed to learn, because there's going to come a point in your life when you're going to refer back to that and like, wow, I realized why I had to go through that. I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me now in my life. Like, I look back, I'm like, wow, I know why I had to have that experience. And it's only through your morning routine or through your intentional time that you set aside daily that you're able to make that time for you and for your conversations with God or source or whatever you want to call it. The second thing you want to do is bring more mindfulness into your day. And here's what I mean. It would be amazing if you can get an hour of meditation in, but we all know that that's very difficult to do. It's like maybe once in a while we like, oh, I did like a good 45-minute yoga stretch and I sat in my sauna blanket for 45 minutes and was silent the entire time, or only listened to like a meditation audio. Like, yeah, we try to get those moments in, but it doesn't happen all the time. I'm lucky if I get like 10-15 minutes. So what I mean by this is you want to ensure that you are bringing mindfulness into your days in small ways. Maybe it's taking your time as you're preparing your lunch and turning off your phone, going into airplane mode, whatever you need to do, and really be in the moment of what you're doing. And maybe that's a time you listen to a music that inspires you. Like, I enjoy, even though I subscribe and open to a bit more things than I used to be growing up, I still enjoy like a lot of music I listened to when I was younger. And I can't tell you what it does for you energetically to tune in and be very intentional and mindful with how you incorporate small spiritual practices in your day. Like I said, it doesn't have to be like a whole hour. It does not have to be an hour. I mean, that's great, but it doesn't have to be. It's just 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. I know I'm not Muslim, but I have Muslim friends, and I know that they pray multiple times a day. So it's just being mindful in bringing that practice into your day. I'm telling you, if you do it, it's just something. It's just like it clicks. Like your body's in your mind, your body, your whole ecosystem is like, wow, I'm doing something to be intentional about my spiritual practice. I can feel it, and you'll notice how your life's going to change a little bit as you start, being more mindful with these practices. And then the third thing is you want to practice more gratitude. Be thankful, reframe your mind. My life is not perfect. I've learned a lot. I've actually have come far, I'll say. I've come far, and that's why I'm like passionate about this work, because I know what it took to get here, and I know what it's going to take to get to the next level. Like, I know what it takes, at this point, and I've had the experience and the real world wisdom and have the life experience and all of that. So there are moments that I could complain. There are moments where I could be like, this is not the way I want it to be. I can be upset all the time, every single day, because there's a certain situation or condition in my life that I'm not happy about. But no, what I've learned to do instead, and I've actually always been quite positive, even when I was younger. It's funny, I was actually with my mom and sister. We went to like an antique shop, and they had like this old painting of this girl. She had looked like a young girl, like 5-7 years old. She looked like she had a beat up eye, and it was funny. She was sitting in a doctor's clinic. She was probably dressed in like the 40s, 50s attire, and so she was just sitting posed at a doctor's clinic. It was a drawing, cartoon type drawing, pigtails, almost like Pippi Longstocking, and she had a black eye and her hair sticking up, but she had like this giant grin. And my mom and family always laugh about me because I was always like this positive kid, even when I was younger. But as I've gotten older, I've gone through things, and so, but the thing about me though is I always allow myself, I want to say fake positivity. It's not even about, I'm real, like, trust me, if I keep it real, even with my family, they know I'll keep it real with you, so it's not even fake positivity. Maybe with strangers, I'm a bit more reserved. But with family, no, I keep it real. But at the same time, I'm also, where I guess I'm going with this is I always remain a positive outlook. Like, even if situations are dire, or they're horrible, I've even written and journaled about this. I'm in a spiritual community, and I'm working on a metaphysics degree and philosophy and all that. And so I had this conversation. I was like, what do people do? Like, how do they stay positive if they're in a war-torn country? Like, yeah, there's real situations you can't really stay positive about. But where I'm going with this, I guess, is that by practicing daily gratitude and tuning into God, you just thank God for the things that you do have. You thank God for the safety. And, if things aren't the way you want them to be, because it is hard to practice gratitude when things are difficult, just tune in and know, this is my human experience that I'm meant to go through. There's a lesson that I need to go through. There's something that I need to fulfill in this life from this experience. So it's just, for me, whenever I am going through like a quote unquote negative situation, thank God. It could be worse, because we know there's parts of the world that are going through worse things. But if you're listening to this, I know you're privileged. But if you are, where I'm going, you want to make sure you are practicing gratitude and being thankful every single day for what it is that you're going through. Reframe your minds and learn from those hard times, and take those experiences to help you as you move into your future. So there you have it. These are 3 things that help me in my spiritual journey, and it helps me stay more aligned spiritually. The 3 things we talked about, just in summary, is number 1, having an intentional practice every single day. Number 2 is bringing more mindfulness into your day. And then the 3rd thing is practicing gratitude. So I want to hear from you. What are things that you do every single day to ensure that you're bringing more spirituality into your life? If you're not doing any of these things, let me know in the comments below what things you're going to take away from this. And remember, one small step daily turns into big things eventually. So just remember that, keep it in your back of your mind, because it can be overwhelming. We feel like, I just don't got time for this. I've got too much going on. But just the little things, 5 minutes here, can definitely, just doing the little things can definitely compound. That's the word that I was looking for. So definitely if you're not doing any of these practices, make sure you start incorporating them into your life, and let me know what practices you are already incorporating. Maybe I didn't hit on them, or if you are someone that is looking to start incorporating any of these, let me know in the comments below. So if this video resonated with you, make sure you like and subscribe. and I will see you in the next video.